let's flip a coin. Heads Carolina, tails California.
Okay, Tim K. I'm in Lomé, Togo, West Africa. Tim K. is a regular asking questions. I think he ought to go to Lago Ataman. I think he'd fit in perfect. I think he'd love this place because he's got all the alternative medicine, Ayurvedic, yoga type questions, but he's an attorney, so they need attorneys there because there's a lot of people hiding from the law. How much would diet vary for someone on raw food diet, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts? How much would your diet, let's put it continents. The big difference is Central America, South America. I mean, Central America is a lot different than South America. Asia is a lot different than Central America. And so we got 7 different food groups, right? 7 different continents and 7 different things. How much would it vary? According to how much you want it to vary. I mean, Thailand to me has some of the strangest vegetables, fruits on the planet. Little fuzzy things. But Africa's got a lot of very, very, very different foods. Your core foods like lettuce, tomatoes, onions, apples, oranges, they're almost in all countries. Then you have this 25% that's outside that. You got staple foods, like Africa's staple food is millet, meal, and yam, and cassava, and manioc, and fufu, and pat. Nuts. There's always peanuts in almost every country. Seeds, different. The longer you're in a country, you're going to be able to find your raw food that you want to eat. Do I see a lot of things that are not in America? Yes. I have a playlist. If you go to Hobo Traveler YouTube link, it's click on the little corner in the YouTube window you're watching, and it goes watch on YouTube. Then there's a Hobo Traveler. There's a playlist underneath that shows foods of the world. And I started adding it about 2 years ago. Now, guess what? The world's changed in 16 years. There wasn't even YouTube when I started. So now I didn't really want to be on video when I first started traveling. I just wrote about things. And I've never been able to bring all these things together into one thing, but anymore I'm showing you all the unique foods I see. So there's a playlist, and you can check that playlist out, and it says Foods of the World or something like that. Then you also have one that says Foods that I cook in my room. So how do I cook? Do they vary a lot from America? Only about, well, they eat about 80% different, but they probably are using the same kind of foods, 80% the same, but they cook them different. So Thailand uses kind of the same food. The best, it's a tough question because I'll tell you a funny story. I was in Iraq. I was in Mosul, Iraq, and they have meals ready to eat that the U.S. Army was airdropping down to Iraq, and they had the vegetarian meal. I mean, culturally, it's almost an insult. I mean, I don't know if anybody in Iraq was a vegetarian, but they're dropping vegetarian meals because somehow, politically correct, they had to do it. But there's so much food in Iraq that they didn't need to drop food. And, Saddam was really good at manipulating his system. So he gets millions of dollars of food sent to Iraq, but they all had food to eat. There's so much food in Iraq. So much chicken, so much good food. But the meal's ready to eat. So I was buying some of these things because a lot of the food in Iraq I didn't like to eat. So I was buying these meals ready to eat at these little things. The vegetarian ones. I was laughing. Like, how barbaric can you get? Barbaric is when you ignore the local customs of a country and you force them to accept your custom. That's a barbarian. When Marco Polo came into China, he was a barbarian because he was trying to live his culture inside their cultures. A person that comes and tries to force people to accept their culture is a barbarian. Okay, so very barbaric thing to do, drop vegetarian food in Iraq when there is no vegetarians. Okay, vegetarian thing is kind of a vegan thing, is an American thing. If you want a vegetarian thing, really want to get heavy duty on it, go to India. There, Hindu people are vegetarians. Most cultures just don't even think about it. I'm always seeing something different than America. 24 hours a day, that's why I'm outside of America. Do I see food different? Yes. 90% of the food, the way they're eating it, is different than the way we eat it. But you got to understand that most tourists and expats go hang around expat hotels so they can avoid eating that food, and so what they're eating is the same as American. Because that's what they serve. You know, you go into a 5-star hotel and they serve up America on a plate. I don't go to 5-star hotels. I don't stay there. Although I do, like today, I want to go to Akif Chicken and I want to eat some Lebanon cooked chicken here in Lomé, Togo, because up in Kara they just don't have chicken. They got beef out the wazoo, no chicken. They got chicken, but it's like marathon running chicken. You can't chew it. They import chicken from Brazil here, and it's real tender, and the Lebanese cook it. But it's cooked up for the foreigners, and then the locals are sort of adopting. Okay, Andy Graham trying to answer, you know, it's probably easier to be a vegetarian than it is to be a meat eater, except all the food in the planet is full of fish and oil. So, I mean, would you rather be a beef eater or an oil eater? Tough questions, right?